This is Scary Terry's Saturday Nightmare from Rock 94.7.
Welcome to 13 Questions on Scary Terry's Saturday Nightmare. Tonight's guest has a very impressive metal resume. He's a founding member of Texas metal legends Rigor Mortis. In addition, he was Al Jourgenson's guitarist of choice for Ministry, starting with the Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste, Psalm 69 era. He's back with Jourgenson again for another go with Ministry. Their new album, Relapse, is due out on March 30th. Mike Scaccia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Terry. I got to tell you, I barely made it, man. I got pretty drunk last night. So,
Well, we appreciate you soldiering on in an effort to plug your latest musical project, man.
Cool, man. Oh, I'm glad you have me.
I'll tell you what, these questions are all going to be relatively harmless, relatively though. So there still might be some danger here. So we'll try to take it easy on you in your
Cool,
condition.
Man. No problem, man. Yeah, my band Rigor Mortis, we played a show last night. Well, we took a break in between recording and went and played a show, like real smart move, So it was a long one, late night.
You guys are hardy Texas youths. You can handle that, right?
I wouldn't say youths, but we are definitely Texans.
Now, Mike, you started with Ministry on the Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste tour. You've played on several albums since then. How would you compare Relapse to past releases?
Well, it's obviously a completely different record for many of those. One being the whole recording process has completely changed since then. It is a heavier record since past releases, I think. But with this particular record, it covers quite a bit of ground. It's not particularly aimed at say our president. There's some political views on this record, but they're kind of about a few different things. And then it's also about our lives, so it's an interesting record. This record was also written and recorded and mixed and produced in 3 months.
No kidding.
Where past, especially back in the good old days, we used to spend, a year to, 2 years on a record.
Now, you have several writing credits on past Ministry tunes. What's the writing process like with Al?
It's pretty generous, but probably I could say in the last, I've been with Al off and on for about 25 years, and he's like my big brother, but in the last, let's say like 4 years. Since we've been back together, working together, the writing process has kind of changed a little bit than past. Nowadays, we're writing more together, whereas before it was about I've got this part, I'm going to bring it to him, and then we'll see what we can do with it, and I'll lay down a part and blah, blah. Now it's like we're kind of collaborating more. It's kind of cool. And it's really been working as well. We both like the finishing results these days.
Now, you said a minute ago that Al is he's like a big brother to you. Does that make him a better boss in a way too?
Yes and no. We're getting along together now better than we ever have. He is a fantastic boss to me. He treats me really well, and I have nothing but the highest respects for him. He is a genius to work around with in the studio, and he's taught me so much about studio, and tones and stuff. So, I must say, working with him in this day and age is much more relaxing than it has been in the past.
How has his newfound sobriety affected your relationship with him?
It's fine. I mean, look, in the old days, we used to get pretty tore up together, but, nowadays, I could care less if somebody's, I don't have to be high around to be anybody, you know, and you don't have to be high to be around me. You know what I mean?
I've been smoking since about 6 this morning, so I was prepared either way.
Well, that's okay.
So, Mike, next question. When's the last time you watched in case you didn't feel like showing up?
Wow. I don't know. It's been quite a while. I would have to say 10 years, maybe. The shows were pretty crazy. That was a great tour. That was the first tour that I did with Ministry. It was the first time that I'd ever been in a tour bus on tour, so that was fun. And it opened up a lot of doors for music in general. You know, I remember that was a big turning point in music. You know, and in Ministry.
Now, we were just talking about a little bit about being on the road and whatnot. What is your favorite memory from the road that you can share without drawing the attention of law enforcement?
or getting divorced.
Yeah, that too. We don't want. Basically, we want to keep you out of court if at all possible.
You know, this might sound corny, and I don't care, but in 1995, we headlined a big day out in Australia, and I walked out on stage, pretty lit up, in Sydney, Australia. There was 175,000 people out there, and I'll never forget walking out there and my legs started shaking because I was just nervous, you know, and I couldn't see nothing but people for as far as I could see. And I remember hitting my guitar strings to check, you know, the volume. And I remember being so loud that everybody's head in the audience like kind of cocked back and cocked forward, and it came back at such a force that it blew my hair back, you know. And I just remember that feeling of like, this is a pretty powerful thing right here, you know. And I wasn't nervous anymore, and it just became one of the coolest moments of my life. And I remember that moment, and I remembered it for years, you know, even when I wasn't touring, and when people asked me about what's it like to do that or whatever. I mean, I know it's not as cool as me saying, you know, puking off the 12th floor, you know, into a TV set or anything, but that was my fondest memory from being on the road, was that particular show, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, hey, I was in a little local band, and I did the puking off of a balcony thing. That's overrated. I think your moment's way better.
Well, I do that without being on the road.
Yeah, you see, exactly. That's more mundane, you know. I think what you gave us was a much more special memory there. Now, Mike, you've toured with one of Al's 10 gazillion side projects, Revolting Cocks, for a bit. Who's your favorite cock?
Me.
Okay, awesome. What is your what's your handle, by the way, when you tour with the Cocks?
I can't remember. I can't remember, man. You got me with that. That's been a long time. I don't remember what my.
You don't remember your cock handle?
No, I can't remember what they called me. I think there were a few different ones, but I think I just basically went by Mikey.
Gotcha.
You know?
Well, if you ever remember it, let us know, and we'll update your Wikipedia entry. We want to make sure this is well documented.